I try to be a pro fan, sort of college football guy. That's why I approach it, because I am a college football fan. If you're an everydayer out there, thank you for doing that, by the way. But even if you're tuning in for the first time, the 8th time, the 80th time, you probably have picked up on the fact that I really like college football. The show is literally called Locked On College Football. It's all I talk about on here. There are no other stories that seep into this show that are not college football related. And so I love the sport. I really do. I always have. I always will, by the way. I always will. Amidst all the craziness and the wildness of all this stuff, I'll always love it because eventually games will return. We're about 3 months away from having real, meaningful football. And it's going to be great. It'll be here before you know it, I promise, and we'll get there together. But when I see something like canceling Notre Dame-USC, it makes my blood boil. It really, really does. Because what has happened over the last, let's call it 5 years, it's really four, it would be about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, July, when USC and UCLA announced they were going to leave the Pac-12 and started a lot of this stuff. Now, NIL and the portal would have shown up anyway, but NIL, the portal, realignment, I can readily make the case that all of those things, while being pro-player in a lot of sense, are anti-fan, which is usually how those things go. What's good for players holistically in a sport or a league oftentimes isn't great for fans. You know who's really, really pro-player? The NBA. You know who's lost a lot of its television viewership over the last decade or so? Where other sports have gone up, they've not done quite as well. The NBA. It's not a coincidence, in my view. And so college football, because it is football and there's a scarcity component that the NBA or any basketball league can't actually match, all of these things that are anti-fan, I don't think are going to drive down television viewership, at least not holistically across the board. But we have changed so many things. Think about what it was like to be a college football fan in 2019. Here in 2025, it is radically different. You look at players differently. You look at teams differently. You look at coaches differently. You look at conferences differently. It all feels different, particularly in the offseason. It's definitely 100% emphasized when you are in the middle of May, as we are right now. Once October rolls around and we've been in the season for over a month and we're talking about games, you'll forget about all of this stuff. Mostly. Maybe not entirely, but mostly. I will too. Doesn't mean it is irrelevant. It's certainly not. But being a fan of college football is just a lot different because things have changed a lot. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not. USC and Notre Dame is more than a college football game. It's an institution in the sport. It is a marker. It is a staple. It is something that is always played. I do not care who is suggesting or why they are suggesting this game not be played. I would like to have a stern conversation with them that sounds something like I want it to be one-sided. So really, I just want the people that are making these decisions to listen to this show. Anyway, here's what I'd want them to hear. Are you unaware of how historic that matchup is? Do you have any idea why rivalries separate college football from the NFL? Among the litany of things that make this sport, in my view, and not the NFL, the greatest sport on planet Earth, rivalries are a top 3 reason, and they might not be number 2 or 3. It could be 2. I don't know it's 3. It can't be lower than 3. The rivalries in the NFL, the Steelers and the Ravens, there have been some great games over the years. There's passion between the fan bases, no doubt about it. They play twice a year in football, not once a year. Rivalry games in college football, and yeah, twice is still not a lot. They want to win rivalry games. I get it. I'm not saying NFL rivalries don't exist. Don't for a single solitary second try and convince me or anybody else that's a true college football fan they feel the same. Because I, every year, as someone who grew up on the West Coast with the old Pac-12, RIP, I never want to miss an Iron Bowl. I never want to miss Michigan, Ohio State. I'm never missing Red River. That is a circle the calendar sort of day. And USC Notre Dame, it's not in that tier, but it's not that far behind. The history of those two programs is incredible. It is immense, and it is a staple of college football and has been for such a long time. Why do we need to get rid of it? That's a game that, frankly, Notre Dame should want to keep more than USC. USC is in the Big Ten now. They don't have strength of schedule concerns. Notre Dame can. Notre Dame usually plays a really, really good schedule, right? This year, they've got USC, of course, who should be a good but not great team. But they've got Miami. They usually play, they play at least 5 ACC games every year. They're going to start playing Clemson every year, starting in 2027, which I think is great. I love those sorts of games. But when you have the ability to give college football fans not just a historic matchup, but one between two teams that can make the college football playoff or have big enough brands to draw national interest, who are you helping by removing that game? What's it getting replaced with? These are games that get sharpied into USC and Notre Dame schedules every single year. What's the alternative going to be? Fans across the country aren't going to care about Notre Dame playing. I mean, who would they even play? Even if you made it a Power 4 game, even if you swapped it out with another Big Ten team. Let's say you had Notre Dame play Minnesota. It's a solid program. We're going to talk about him this week on the Big Ten Squad. PJ Fleck, good coach. Minnesota, solid program. Nothing special, but good. Do you care about that game? No, because there's no history. You cannot replicate history. You can't carry it over. You can't create it. You can't fake it. Two notable examples. When the Pac-12, RIP, originally formed with Utah and Colorado, they had those two schools play during rivalry week. I'm pretty sure every year, they came in together. They're the mountain schools. There was no rivalry there, no juice. Why? You can't fake it. Live Golf doesn't have big television numbers. You know why? They're playing at places with no history. They have some big names over there that some people like watching, like Bryson DeChambeau, but they're playing in Live Golf, insert course no one's ever heard of. For all you golf fans out there, do you like watching Bay Hill? Yeah. You know why? Because it's the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Because there is history. Because there is tradition. You cannot rapidly, if at all, bake those things in because it takes decades. It takes decades for that to happen. One thing I think about the New World Pac-12, who are the rivals going to be? Who are the games, or what are the games that are going to draw in an audience beyond the Pac-12 footprint? We don't know yet. We don't know. Maybe there won't be any. I hope there will be some. But Notre Dame-USC automatically draws a national audience. Notre Dame was significantly better, or had a significantly better season than USC last year. And on the road, guess what? Still a really good football game. Why? It's one of those games. How many times has Auburn played close with Alabama? When Auburn's having an average season, Alabama's going to have a great one. Oh, that only happened as recently as 2 years ago, when Jalen Milroe on the 4th and 31 or whatever it was to Isaiah Bond. Auburn wasn't even good. Alabama was a couple plays away from the national championship game, and still Auburn could have won. Why? Rivalry games. History, tradition, it has a different feel. It's not just a football game, it is an event. Steelers-Ravens or Seahawks 49ers is an elevated NFL game. It still feels a lot like the rest of them. The Iron Bowl, Red River, the Battle for Los Angeles, Notre Dame, USC, the list goes on and on. Georgia, Florida, you cannot replicate that stuff quickly. You can't do it. And so I don't care what the reason. Play this series. So much has already been taken. Talk about kicking college football fans while they're down. So much has already been taken. an entire conference, regional stability, ease of travel to road games has been taken away from so many. Do you have to pile on and take Notre Dame USC as well? Gosh, I hope not. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.